Sound, karma, music, podcast. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome to Sound Karma Song Spotlight, episode 56, brought to you by one big web design firm based in Nashville and serving clients around the world, building and marketing affordable websites to businesses in all fields. They specialize in websites for the music business, artists, bands, singers, and songwriters. Their designs have won awards for Best Designer 3 years in a row, and in a city like Nashville, that's a pretty big deal. Let them design a website for you. For a free quote, visit onebigwebdesign.com. That's the number one, bigwebdesign.com. I'm your host, Big Zach. This podcast is all about new music discovery. There's so many talented artists, musicians, bands, singers, and songwriters. We think all music should be heard. We may not be able to spotlight every song ever written, but we're sure going to try. If you're a fan of music, we hope you subscribe. Each week, you'll get exposed to new artists from all over the world. We focus on a lot of different formats, too. Rock, pop, R&B soul, EDM, electronic, rap, hip-hop, jazz, instrumental, alternative, indie, ambient, and even some other made-up formats. The tracks included in each week's episode just depends on what's new, what we find, and submissions that are sent to us. Which brings up another thing. You can send us stuff to be featured. If you're a solo artist or in a band, send us your latest track. The easiest way to get it to us is on the submissions page at soundkarma.com. It's Karma with an H. You can upload an MP3 and a picture, your bio, tell us your social links, whatever you want to do. But the more ways we can tell people how to find you, the more your followers can grow. So go ahead, submit something. And if we can spotlight your music, we will. Everyone is welcome to participate. In this week's podcast, we're spotlighting 35 new music releases in alternative, pop, punk, R&B soul, indie rock, indie pop, rock, hip-hop, singer-songwriter, hard rock, electronic, house, and ambient. All right, let's get to it. Our first featured artist this week is Jenny Teeter. She's a rock singer-songwriter from St. Louis. You know, sometimes singers sound like they're phoning it in. I hate to say that, but sometimes they do. They sound like they're singing, but they don't really sound like they really mean it. No one will ever say that about Jenny Teeter. She sings what she means, and she means what she sings. Jenny Teeter has the most important trait any singer can have, and that's authenticity. She's serious about her music. In fact, she's so serious, she moved to Nashville to pursue her music career. You know, and that's the other thing. Many people think Nashville is just for country music, but there's so many other musicians in all formats that live in Nashville. It's crazy. She's toured all over the place and played some very iconic venues like the Viper Room in L.A., the Bluebird Cafe, and Exit Inn in Nashville, and many others. And you know, we talk all the time about how lyrics in some songs are incredibly intense and deep and meaningful. To be honest, not every song has to say the manatees. About this song, Jenny says, quote, "It came to be one of those songs where you just feel good jamming out to it and screaming the chorus in your car. I wanted to write a song with a badass vibe, rockin' guitar parts, and the gang vocal hook to get you singing along. There's no deep meaning to it. We wanted to create a fictional story of a girl who was raised by the devil, the bad guy, who turned out to be sultry, man-teasing, people-pleasing, devil-blooded woman in disguise. Truth be told, I really am and will be a daddy's girl till the day I die." Now, that's pretty cool. This track was just released, and it is available for download now. This is Jenny Teeter with Daughter of the Devil.
'Cause I'm the daughter of the devil in disguise. I'll get you out of them, the hellfire in my eyes. When you're begging me for more, I'll be walking out the door. 'Cause I'm a daddy's girl and will be till I die.
Our next featured artist is Waldo Witt. He's a pop artist who does not blend into the standard pop artist mold. This dude stands out. He started his music career almost by accident. And this is a really interesting story and a showcase of how fate plays a role in our lives. He moved from Austin, Texas to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where his wife attends graduate school. He thought the move would be a great chance to expand his songwriting on a personal level. He and his band, Toma, had been playing around the Austin area for about a decade. But when he moved, the band obviously had to take a break. It opened doors to other styles of writing, new sounds, and deeper lyrical subjects. It sounds like he was feeling the need to write songs that made more of a difference. And I guess that's how a songwriter knows they have a higher calling than others. They feel that calling to make a difference in the world through their songwriting gifts. When a songwriter with a level of talent as Waldo Witt is in a band, it can be stifling to the creativity because not everybody in the band thinks that deeply. Not everyone has the same idea of where the band should go. So in that situation, you oftentimes end up writing to please the other band members. And as a result, the music suffers. And in the end, the fans suffer. This is why guys like Waldo Witt do what they do. It's all because the music matters. And he's one of those songwriters that needs to be free to write, free to spread his wings, free to do his own thing without being told what to do and how to do it. He spent a lot of time this year developing and creating his home and his mobile studio. In fact, he has so much time invested in it, he refers to the whole project as DIY hi-fi. You know, in all our lives, we all go through different stages. Waldo says, quote, "Music for me has become a vehicle for discovery of true self. It's sort of a documentation of that journey. My hope is that others might recognize and relate, that we might share our experiences and learn from each other with music as the context." This track is on his 7-song album called Randall. It is available for download now. This is Waldo Witt, Carteret. Featured artist this week is Dalton DeShane and the Traveling Show. They're a punk band from New York City. If you're not familiar with this band, they're known for their dark experimental punk. But that's all mixed with humor, which is kind of an odd combination. It may sound a little strange, but that's what gives them their unique sound. Some people say they're a little sci-fi and a little rock. Their latest EP, Casey, is the third and final chapter in their 3 EP series. The whole series is one gigantic, long story. It's about a circus ringleader who is possessed by a demon. The thing is, each song tells a story about a different character in the long story. So then on top of the storyline is something even deeper than that. It has an underlying personal message. About this song, Dalton says, quote, "While of course the song fits into our big horror mythos like the rest, I try to make every song about something personal to me as well. Man Thing is primarily about how our perceptions of ourselves can swing dramatically between feeling like you're on top of the world and feeling absolutely insignificant and worthless. Ultimately, the best way forward is just to try to remember that you're everything you are, nothing more, nothing less, and that's all you need to be." So I guess there's a little bit of armchair therapy in this one, while at the same time being a spooky swamp demon story, which I think describes the Venn diagram of this band's interest pretty well. End quote. This track is out now. This is Dalton DeShane and the Traveling Show. The song is called Man Thing.
There's malice in its shadows and it's taken all my pride from me. And I've been called a lazy hypochondriac who can't get a real job and overeducated and potential waste in arts, not trying to learn to fall and stumbling and get in the garden like a meadow, like a meadow. I used to believe I'm a fat soul.
Porcelain is an R&B singer from outside Memphis. If you've never heard her voice before, you're about to be blown away. She has more than 64,000 followers on Instagram for a reason. Girl can sing. If you know anything about Memphis, you know it's a music town. And you know, you may think of just Elvis when you think about Memphis, but it's so much more than just the home of the king of rock and roll. There's music literally oozing from every corner in Memphis. On top of all the natural music in Memphis, Porcelain comes from a musical family. Not like a stereotypical fame-seeking family either. We're talking about just like a regular, super talented group of people. Someone would start singing and then other people would join in, just having a good time. Not like rehearsing and saying, oh no, you hit that note wrong, or nothing like that. Some would sing together and then others would play instruments. Porcelain saw all this talent from everyone else in her family, and it made her wonder if she could do the same thing. So, what do you do in that situation? She just jumped right in and tried. She started to try to write songs. I mean, she would sing in the car. It's almost like she became music, or maybe you could say music became her. She auditioned and performed at school graduation ceremonies. When she got out of school, she worked hard at getting inside those music circles, hanging around musicians, songwriters, producers, anything and anybody that she could. She's been on BET. She's worked with Timbaland. She's been on the top 20 on Billboard's R&B chart. Porcelain has made a huge name for herself, and now she's just put out a new Christmas album called Joyful Hearts, A Season of Love. We figure it's the holiday season, but why not add some Christmas music to the list this week? So here you go. It's a brand new song from Porcelain. It just came out a few days ago, and it is available for download now. This is called New Boo.
Got a new boo this year. Got all my gifts right here. Ay, ay. He give me that Christmas shit. My snowman, he give me chills. Smiling from ear to ear. Ay, ay. He give me that Christmas shit. He give me that la 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 la. He give me that ooh. He give me that. He give me that. He bring me that Christmas cheer.
Our next featured group is called Night Hikes. They're a super talented alternative duo that has some really interesting stories to tell. For one, they got kicked out of a chapel at the University of Notre Dame for filming a music video instead of praying. Apparently, you can't do that. The two members are a perfect balance for each other. Olivia Godby is the storyteller. Matthew Farrell has an ear for melodies and production. In 2016, they finished school and dove right into music. They went so far as to rent a house. They wrote and recorded their first album. Then they kind of packed up and moved. They literally packed their stuff and took off to Seattle. They thought that would help them refine their songwriting. And they're probably right. If you're going to thrive as an alternative band, there's probably no better place to be than Seattle. When recording an album, a lot of bands will tell you one of the most important things is where the tracks are recorded. What's the vibe of the place? The atmosphere makes all the difference in the world. The acoustics make a difference. You'd think after that little incident in the chapel at Notre Dame, they'd be hesitant to record in that type of setting again. But nope, they did. They recorded their album in an old Catholic church. The difference is this time they had permission. So that covers the studio part of Night Hikes. But that's just half the story. Olivia and Matthew are virtually interchangeable on stage. They trade on and off on lead vocals. And they do this other really cool thing too. They switch instruments in the middle of a set. So don't ever assume that what you see is what you get with Night Hikes, because it's not. You just give it a minute. What you see now may not be what you see next. That's what makes this band so awesome. Well, I mean, it's one of the things that makes the band awesome. This is a brand new track from Night Hikes. It is available for download. This is called Belltown.
She pours herself a different drink each night, and she goes places everybody knows. Can you find her? Hiding in the afterglow.
Our next featured artist is Karima Francis. She's an amazing singer-songwriter from Blackpool. She sings the kind of music that gets people's attention, too. I mean, her vocals are hauntingly lonely, yet they're optimistic at the same time. It's a weird dynamic, but it really, really works. It's really cool. She's one of those artists that we always say was born to sing. We literally can't imagine her doing anything else but performing. Like so many talented musicians, she got her feet wet in music when she was very young. She taught herself to play drums when she was 13. when it comes down to it, it's pretty tough to write music on the drums. So she learned guitar and then started writing songs. But Karima is a creative type of person who can get bored real easy. She decided to pack up and leave London to see what life is like in Los Angeles. This is like the second artist this week that's just packed up and left on a whim. She sold some of her stuff, like her guitars, to buy a one-way ticket. Talk about faith, man. Talk about jumping in. The whole LA SoCal vibe was just what her soul needed. It brought a whole new level of meaning to her music. You know, songwriters write about what they know. They write about what they see. Karima saw homelessness in LA. She saw huge mansions where celebrities live. She saw the extreme contrast between the two lifestyles. You know, how people can live so differently in the same place had a deep effect on her. You know, we all see the fancy homes and cars on TV and in the movies. Most people are not exposed to the massive homeless crisis in LA. So when you see it for the first time, it can be kind of jarring. It's a big dose of reality. It's a shock. It inspires some people to do things like donate to a worthy cause. It inspired Karima to write a song to try to highlight the problem and hopefully make a difference. Then you look at the video. The video goes through a day in the life of a real homeless man. I mean, this guy is not an actor. He really is homeless. He wanted to do this to help bring awareness to the problem. So you see, there's a lot going on in this song. You may have to listen to it a couple of times to get it all, but it is available for download on iTunes or streaming on Spotify. This is Karima Francis. The song is called Shelf Life.
Questions, directions to never look back, restorations pushed back on the shelf, and it's hard on the shelf, hard on the shelf. Tear from the morning light, it's tough on the shelf life.
Our next featured group is called Ashes to Omens. They're a hard rock band out of Athens, Georgia. By band standards, they haven't been together all that long. They formed in 2017. Pretty much right off the bat, they put out a song right away called The Screws. Then they put out their first album in 2018, and it did pretty well. It was featured in Georgia Music Spotlight. They also got some other really cool positive reviews, so the album got some serious attention. And they've also had a chance to open up for legendary rock acts like Tom Kiefer of Cinderella and a bunch of others. And you're probably thinking, like many people, yeah, I've heard rock music before. How much different can this be? Blah, blah, blah. But honestly, Ashes to Omens is one of those bands that's going to give you that oh wow reaction the first time you hear them. Their music will literally wake up your sleepy senses. You know, we talked about their first album and how well it did. Well, good news, they're finishing up the new album. It won't be out until February of 2020. But if this first track is anything like we can expect from the rest of the album, this is going to be a killer. Even though the whole album won't be out until early next year, this song is available for download now. They went ahead and put it out. You can download it, you can stream it, whatever you want to do. This is Ashes to Omens. The song is called Let the Devil Loose. Our last featured artist this week is a one-man pop act from Geneva, Switzerland called Panaviscope. Alex Dylaz is one of those musicians with so much individual talent he might explode. I mean, the dude sings, he plays all his own instruments, he writes. He started his music career before many of us were even old enough to ride a bike. He was writing songs, so to speak, on the family's piano when he was 6. You know, you're not putting together like, symphonic compositions or things like that when you're 6 years old, but you can put together melodies, you can play on the piano, you can put some words to it. So, yeah, he was writing songs when he was 6. Now, I don't know about you, but everyone I know wasn't doing anything even close to that. That's a lot of creativity at such a young age. And I hate to yada, yada, yada over years of growth or downplay his talent, but he eventually went on to study music at the California Institute of the Arts in LA. When Alex writes music, he doesn't just slap something down and call it a day. He packs a lot into his songs. About this song, he says, quote, "In 3 minutes, you travel from electro to classic 70s rock in a very smooth journey. I'm happy with the aesthetic of the song. The result is extremely cinematic. At the end of the song, you should wonder, what the hell just happened to me? In this song, I talk about going back to the forest. I explore a romantic vision of nature, a parenthesis," end quote. You see, Alex's creativity is so complex. That's what sets his music apart from everyone else. Well, it's part of what makes him special. Aside from the fact that he writes all his own music, plays all his own instruments, I mean, he almost has too much talent to fathom in one person. This track is available for download or streaming now. This is Panaviscope with Breathing in Reverse.
Are you changing every evening? Maybe this is all there is. Cities, parties, 50 ponies. May the rain come and wash our concrete. Do you wanna speak then, girls? We can't go on breathing in reverse. Did we get what we hoped?
Did we get what we hoped for?
So there's this week's featured artists. Now here are this week's bonus tracks you need to check out. The first one is from Shantytown. The song is called Strong in Broken Places.
I had to breathe, you had to fly. One day maybe we'll know why. We are strong in broken places. Strong in broken places. I had to breathe, you had to fly. One day maybe we'll know why. We are strong in broken places. Strong in broken places.
Half Hadley, Rivington. Elise, A-Frame.
Got you on your A game when I wore that A-frame. And the way you move put the other boys to shame. Saw it in your eyes, but you set my life ablaze. I'm back in your city, you know where to reach me if you're gay. You loved me when I had no car, and now I just got back from a tour and brought it up. Rockin' out in a bathroom stall, 'cause I traded
Blacktop Mojo, Come Get Your Coat.
Come get your coat, you left it last night when you still go here. I won't tell anybody you came around. Tell me to keep it down, Lord, you scream so loud. Try to keep it down. Try to keep it down. Try to keep it.
T-Bars, The Life.
I just want to live the life, swear that I'ma get it right. Toasted to the future, I gotta live my best life. Bottles after bottles, if you with me, you can holler. One time for my people trying to make $1. I just want to live the life, swear that I'ma get it right. Toasted to the future, I gotta live my best life. Bottles after bottles, if you with me, you can holler. One time for my people trying to make $1. Don't need the limelight, blow to get my mind right. Told my mother I stopped cursing for the right price. I know she prayed for me, I gotta count it carefully.
Graduation Speech, Love and Patience.
Did you know how I felt? Could you hear my shaking voice? Did you know how I felt? Could you hear my shaking voice?
With Bloom, Vague.
casting spells so that you get to grow clear and strong, raising children
thoughtful devotion, working hard, make it better, right up all the wrongs, looking forward to meet the next generation.
Raven Black, he is the one. Right on Yukon, Homesteaders.
Silence his grandson's pickup. Worn old tools, a scuffed rifle, but these days they drive him down to despair. Condition of his fences, disrepair. Why have a horse and feed when you can buy an ATV? Why have a home at all if you don't want me? The pipeline is coming with eminent domain. They'll spill on the land.
Aaron Bloomer, She'll Be Gone. JKP, Blue Sun. Autopilot, Modern Age. The Room in the Wood, Charmed.
Lives, larger than life, lies more important than the rest. More important than the
This is a brand new song from Andy Va. It's called Prescription.
Industry knows how to kill. Baby, take the magic pill. Are you awake or sleeping still? You don't care, seeking the thrill. Money is all they see. They feed on your anxiety. Many prescriptions for you to buy. Industry running on weakness you supply.
Chris Angeles, I Hope I Never Fall in Love Again.
I hope I never fall in love again. You know it's you and it has always been. Feels like my heart will never ever mend. I hope I never fall in love again. Now I'm living in a fantasy that you'll come find me on that balcony.
Charisma, New Frontier. Little Dune, As Always.
And as always, I'll be walking through fire onto the light, fighting the good fight. As always, here I am, just let the chills run down your spine.
Sunwarper, Hide See. Headshine, Here and Now.
Cause everything that grows up follows the line. When I let go away of fear and doubt, then there's only here and now. Yeah, they tried to bury me, but they don't know I'm a seed.
Looper Dupree, Hanging Out.
It's always better when I get to see you. Yeah, it's always better when I think about you. My day always gets better when I get to be with you. My day always gets better when I'm hanging out with you. When I see your smile, my troubles go away.
Good Time Mystery Vision, Calla Lilies.
Sweet color lilies all around you. Sweet color lilies, I found you. Sweet color lilies, don't break my heart. I'll do the same for you.
Digital Brains, The Itch.
It's a bitch now. I should have stayed gone. I should have left town. Hey, it's a bitch now. I got the itch now. I got the itch now.
Leon Marshall, Better Man.
Come a little closer, let me try to put it right. Let me tell you why the things I said were worthless. Come on, darling, let's make up before good night. And darling, I'll let you down whenever I can. And darling, I know you're worth more than I am. And darling, you know I could be a better man.
Katie Rush, Disappear.
I don't need your love, I don't need your love, I don't need your love. I don't need your love, I don't need your love, I don't need your love. With him I'm always pretending. No happy ending, help me forget him. Can't take this moment, please save me from sin. Cause since that hour I'm alone again. And that's the story I disappear in.
Drew Davies, Beautiful World. Drez, Just a Thought. Last bonus track this week comes from Sharon. The song is called Closer to Love. So there you go. That's this week's Sound Karma Song Spotlight, brought to you by One Big Web Design Firm, based in Nashville and serving clients around the world, building and marketing affordable websites to businesses in all fields. They specialize in websites for the music business, artists, bands, singers, and songwriters. Their designs have won awards for Best Designer 3 years in a row. And in a city like Nashville, that's a pretty big deal. Let them build a website for you. For a free quote, visit onebigwebdesign.com. That's the number 1, bigwebdesign.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sound Karma Song Spotlight podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And it's now available on iHeart. If you have any suggestions for artists or songs you'd like us to highlight as a blog or in a future podcast, let us know. Contact us at soundkarma.com. We think all music should be heard. Sound Karma. All music, all artists, all the time. Thanks for listening. I'm Big Zach. Over and out.